SRT is a test of common sense. It reveals the thoughts or ideas present in your mind. There are certain do's and don'ts also. I'll talk about all this in this video. Today we will talk about the SRTs, which is the third test in your psych test. We all know that problems are solved by applying our own mind. The SRTs are the test of common sense. It reveals the thoughts, ideas present in your conscious mind. In our day-to-day life, we come across many unforeseen situations and we are expected to resolve them by taking lead. Some situations are familiar, while some situations are unexpected and unfamiliar. This test of SRT can be considered quite similar to the command task or the group planning exercise of GTO series. All your 15 OLQs are tested by your reaction to the given situation. An above average candidate will be able to attempt all 60 SRTs. 2 blank lines are provided in your answer sheet. It means that your plan to solve the situation is expected to occupy the space provided. The reactions should be that of a normal person. Do not overreact and do not try to be a Superman or a Superwoman. Focus only on the written words. Do not assume anything. Critically analyze. One situation may require more than one action, multiple actions. While writing your reaction, include all the actions which are required to be taken. Do not write just 1 or 2. If 3-4 actions are required, all those should be included in your answer. Do not use shall, should, will, would, try, if, etc. Directly give your reaction in simple past tense. Of course, write neatly. There should be no cuttings or overwritings. The words which should be frequently and freely used should be politely, calmly, coolly, quickly. And the words which should be avoided are cautiously, he asks for help. That amounts to leaning on someone's help, that we are not able to handle the problem independently. So, as in the role of a leader, you will require help. You should take help also, there is no issue in that. But leaning on someone's help, that means that you cannot carry out the job or the task without the help of others. So that is not considered good. That is called leaning on others' help. So as a leader, you should be able to complete the task on your own. You may require help from others also. So as a leader, you will ask for help. But this impression should not be generated that without help it is not possible for you to do. So kindly understand this. This is a very minor difference between leaning on help and asking for help. If required, you should ask for volunteers wherever possible. Because you cannot assume that anyone you ask to do a particular job, he is sitting free and he will listen to you and he will do the job. That may not always be possible. So it's always better to use the word volunteer. He asks for volunteers. Volunteers you will get. Most of the time, almost every time you will get volunteers. So he asks for volunteers and assign the task, the job to them. Like taking the patient to the hospital, he asks for the volunteers and with the help of the volunteers, he sent one of the volunteers to take the person to the hospital. So something like this. Now coming to the real SRT. The SRT is his school bullies forced him to tease a girl. The girl complained to the principal. Now you see, there are 3 actions which are required in this situation. Number 1 is apology to the girl and the principal. It was a mistake. He committed a mistake, whether under threat, under pressure from the bullies, but it was a mistake. It was a wrong act he did. So he should apologize to the girl as well as the principal. Make a promise to himself to be strong in future. Why did he succumb to such a threat, or why did he accepted the bully? He should have been strong enough at that stage itself, and he should have said, no, I'll not do that. Because if he thought it is incorrect, it is wrong, he should have denied it. But you cannot change the situation, what is given. In this situation, it is clearly given that his school bullies forced him. So you cannot deny it. Now you have to accept this, that you were forced. So what remedial action you can take? That he promised to himself not to accept such threats or pressures from anyone. Be strong in future. So this is one thing which you have to mention in your answer. Thirdly, that you should inform the principal about the bullies so that the principal can take action against them and such incidents are not repeated in future. So this is the long-term action. The short-term action, I told you, apologize to the girl and the principal. So here also, as I told you in TAT, similar things will apply here also in most of the situations. But again, you see, there is no set rule for all the SRTs. Each SRT will have a different reply. So now these three thoughts or three actions, how will you bind them up in the form of a sentence? So the sentence will be like this. He apologized to the girl and informed the principal about the bullies. He promised to himself to be strong in future. Next SRT is, while playing an important football match, he found his efforts were going waste due to mistake of other players. He talked to concerned team members, be polite and point out exactly who is committing what mistake and how it could be corrected. Praise the team members for whatever good contribution they have made. Something good also they must have done, so praise them for that and boost the morale of the team. Now, how all these points will be included in the form of a sentence? He politely pointed out the mistakes individually. Politely, as the word has been used. Praised each one of them for team spirit and collectively made the team win. So this way you will include all the actions required in the form of a sentence. Now the next SRT example which I am giving you is, he used to come first in his class. In the board exams, he did not do well. All his friends made fun of him. So the problem here is that he is an intelligent, brilliant boy. He used to come first in his class. In the board exams, due to some reasons, he did not do well. So obviously all his friends made fun of him. But understand, they are friends, not your enemies. So actions required here, he took it in the right spirit and that this criticism by friends is for his own good. These actions you should understand that these are the things which are going on, which should go on in your mind. So these are the actions required. Second, he did self-analysis. If he did not get good marks, he has to analyze the problem. Why he did not get good marks? He did self-analysis and introspection to find out where things went wrong. This is number 2 step. Number 3, made a plan for future and started implementing it vigorously, with full force, with full effort, enthusiastically. And the 4th action is, he scored above 90% in all future exams. So this is the outcome of the previous 3 actions. Now how you will write this, frame it in the form of a sentence, which you are able to write in 30 seconds. He took friends' comments in the right spirit, did self-analysis, worked enthusiastically as per plan, scored above 90% in all future exams. So this is your reply. Now in this video I'll present you with few more SRTs On the basis of what I have told you, try to solve them, write the correct answer of about 2 sentences, that is about 20 to 30 words for each SRT. If you are not able to write that much, you can reduce the number of words also, but do not write the telegraphic language, he did this and he went and he handled the situation, not like this. Full answer has to be there. And you are required to attempt all 60 SRTs. Many candidates ask me, sir, how many SRTs are sufficient? So why not 60? Again, I'll say that if you are not able to do 60, then you are telling about your limitation. So better do 60, but for recommendation, you should not do less than 50. That should be the target. Candidates coming with 30 SRTs, 35 SRTs, even 40 SRTs normally are not recommended. So try to touch the figure of 50. If you can do 60, very, very good. But you see, there has to be a balance between quality and quantity also. 60, just 5 words is not acceptable. 40 with full 30 words is also not acceptable. So you have to keep a balance. Around 15-20 words also answers are acceptable. But the number of SRTs should not be less than 50. And there should be no blanks in between. Whatever SRTs are to be left, they are to be left towards the end. 51 onwards you can leave. But in between from 1 to 50 you should not leave any SRT unattended. So that's all for SRT. Keep watching and thank you so much. The SRTs till this stage has been covered in the video. Now I am giving you a few more SRTs for your practice. His friends wanted him to join the college strike, while he did not favor it. Now write the answer what you think in the comment box so that I can check it and give you a reply in my next video. The next SRT is, he was cheering for his school team along with his friends when the opposite team supporters shouted at him to shut up. Now think of the alternatives, what all actions are required, and write an SRT and give it in the comment box. The next SRT is, the compartment of the train in which he was travelling caught fire in the night when all passengers were fast asleep. Now think logically what all actions are required. 2, 3, 4 actions will be required. Then write the SRT. He wanted to marry a poor but educated girl of his choice, while his father wanted him to marry a beautiful, wealthy girl. Again think of the options, think of what all actions are required and then write your response. The next SRT is, he was organizing a cultural show. Suddenly his father's condition became serious and his friend who was in charge of comparing the function also had to leave for some urgent work. He was left with no replacement. You see now 2 problems suddenly have arrived. So think with a cool mind what is the solution, what alternatives are present, what options are present. Apply that and write it in the form of your response. Next SRT, he did not have money to buy expensive books for his studies. So he went to the library to hire the books for examination on the next day. The librarian informed him that there was only one copy of the book, which has already been taken away by his competitor. He again think of the options, what all is possible, what all he will do, and write your response. The next SRT is, his sister always used to make false complaints about him to his mother, who used to scold him for no fault of his. He, what is the option? What all alternatives you have got? She is your sister. So how you will handle this situation? This situation must be coming in your day-to-day life also. What do you do in that? So accordingly, think of the 2-3 steps that are required and then write your response. Next SRT is, he was getting late for the school or college or office. When he hurriedly entered the bathroom, he saw a big snake inside. So what are the options? What will you do in such a situation? Don't panic. Do not show fear and write the response. The next SRT, he always used to help his friends whenever in need. But once when he asked for help, no one agreed to help him. He, think over, write your response. He was going with his friends in a jungle when suddenly he spotted a tiger advancing towards them. So what did he do? Think about the situation in the jungle and then write your response. He was handling an important assignment in his company when he came to know that his grandmother, who was lying on the deathbed, has expressed a desire to meet him. When he approached his boss, he did not believe him and refused leave. What are the options before you? Think of the options and write your response. Now, lastly, this is a real situation which was given to me by the candidate. His coach asked him to organize the table tennis tournament. So the response he has written, I have given with a cross, that is not acceptable. He fixed the schedule, 5 teams in a round robin, a total of 20 matches and a final match between the top 2, hired supporting staff and referee and organized it wholeheartedly. Not acceptable.